Breaking news from Australia tonight. 3 people are dead in a Sydney suburb, a man is under arrest, and a growing political scandal is raising serious questions about foreign influence and aviation gifts to controversial politicians. We're covering the stories shaking Australia right now. Let's start with the tragedy unfolding in southwestern Sydney. In the early hours of Sunday morning, emergency services rushed to Rosemeadow, a suburb about 60 kilometres from Sydney's city centre. 3 people are confirmed dead. A 32-year-old man has been arrested at the scene. Police have sealed off the area and launched a major investigation. Details are still emerging, but authorities are treating this as an isolated incident with no ongoing threat to the community. Homicide detectives are now working to piece together exactly what happened in those critical hours before dawn. But that's not the only story dominating Australian headlines today. A political firestorm is erupting over revelations that mining billionaire Gina Rinehart's company provided an aircraft to Pauline Hanson's One Nation party. Former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce has waded into the controversy, claiming voters won't really worry about the arrangement. The plane in question was allegedly made available by Hancock Prospecting, Rinehart's mining empire, for One Nation's political activities. Critics are calling it a disturbing example of wealthy special interests bankrolling fringe political movements. The timing couldn't be worse, as Australia grapples with broader questions about transparency in political donations and the influence of mining magnates on the nation's democracy. This aviation gift isn't happening in a vacuum. Gina Rinehart is Australia's wealthiest person, with a fortune built on iron ore mining. Her company has long maintained close relationships with conservative political figures. One Nation, led by Pauline Hanson, has carved out a controversial niche in Australian politics with hardline stances on immigration and climate policy. The provision of private aircraft to political parties raises eyebrows because aviation resources are extraordinarily expensive and provide significant campaign advantages. Joyce's dismissive response has infuriated transparency advocates who argue Australians have every right to know who's funding their politicians and how. Meanwhile, Senator Matt Canavan has defended the coalition's decision to preference One Nation ahead of an independent candidate in the seat of Far, adding another layer to the complex political manoeuvring around Hanson's party. Reaction has been swift and divided. Opposition politicians are demanding a full investigation into the arrangement between Hancock Prospecting and One Nation. Government watchdogs are calling for stricter disclosure rules around non-monetary political support. Voters on social media are expressing frustration with what many see as business-as-usual corruption in Canberra. But Joyce and other coalition figures are standing firm, arguing that political parties regularly receive various forms of support and this is no different. Back in Sydney, families in Rosemeadow are processing the shock of 3 deaths in their quiet suburb. As the 32-year-old suspect remains in custody, police say charges are expected soon. What happens next? Expect the political donation scandal to intensify as opposition parties push for parliamentary inquiries. The Rosemeadow investigation will continue as detectives interview witnesses and examine forensic evidence. Both stories represent deeper questions Australia is confronting about accountability, transparency, and community safety. Stay informed. Stay ahead. This is Viral News Hourly.